What's up, guys? Welcome back to the trading world. Today is January 19th, 2026. Today was Martin Luther King Day, which means today was a bank holiday. And as you guys may know, in the past, I've said there are a lot of good trades that will happen on bank holidays. It is pretty much against the common narrative to say that. But as you'll see in this video, I'm going to show you three amazing trades that I spotted on a bank holiday. Now, I don't necessarily say that meaning all bank holidays are going to be good. Some will be absolutely terrible. What I mean is you should always show up to the charts and just let the charts tell you whether you should trade or not. Observe price action for what it is, show up, and then execute. Anyway, that's besides the point. First, let's go on Twitter. Let's talk about what people were saying. People were so upset that we had so many good trades today. Once again, as I've said in the past, let me remind you of this video. It was insane precision and the accuracy was incredible. This video was I was talking about how you gotta learn things for yourself and not blindly follow what other people are saying. Listen to what I say. Six model setups that I have ever seen from which was this week. I was backtesting price action for Tuesday, which was Veterans Day, which is a bank holiday. And on that day, I found two of the best Phoenix model setups that I have ever seen. So once again, you guys got to do the backtesting for yourself and figure out what makes sense. Does it make sense for you to trade a bank holiday? Backtest bank holidays. See if there's setups that form that align with your strategy or the way that you trade. If so, cool. Then you can trade, right? If not, once again, don't let other people tell you, oh, you can or can't do something. Like, no hate to anyone, by the way, but like, I mean, some people are very, like, convinced that their way is the way, like, saying, don't even do it, don't even think about taking a trade on a bank holiday. When today, once again, I spotted three of the best trades that I've ever seen. I will show you guys those in just a second. But, yeah, a lot of people were very upset they missed this trade. I don't have his tweet, but Diego Barra, I can't remember. I don't know his name. Diego, his last name. Diego caught this one, and so yeah. Once again, I just like to show up and let the charts speak for themselves. Dodgy obviously was really upset that this happened. This inversion was really nice. I did not take this one because, as you guys know, I'm taking trades with on smaller time frames with tighter stop losses, so I can trade on one micro on a personal account, but that's besides the point, right? This was a very nice trade. And so, anyway, a lot of people were very upset. We got Martin Luther King here. He's going to be how we're going to analyze the market today. I'm just kidding. But nah, yeah, happy Martin Luther King Day. I will start. Let's jump right into it. So, first of all, the trade of the day, in my opinion, was this outside bar. And the cool thing about this outside bar is this outside bar happens before the inversion for value gap that everyone was freaking out about. So this entry off this inversion for value gap is great, right? But what happens below the inversion for value gap? So this is an amazing inversion for value gap. Don't get me wrong. It's an amazing inversion for value gap. But there is a just as good entry below the inversion for value gap, and that's an outside bar. So let's talk about this. What is an outside bar? Well, it is when, let's move this over just a bit. Oh, that's here. So it is when the high and low of the candle prior both get taken by the next candle after. So in this case, you can see that the low of this candle and the high of this candle are both completely engulfed on either side, and usually it's going to look something like this. This is my favorite kind of signature with them, where you'll have a red candle and then a green. It's almost like a liquidity sweep and break of structure within within two candles. That's kind of how I see it. But at the end of the day, if you have a candle and then the next candle that takes the low and the high, it's a sign the market's going to reverse. You want to pair this with usually a liquidity sweep and SMTs. So What's cool is you can project out this candle up 1, 2, 3, 4 projections, and bang. But yeah, guys, this outside bar was an amazing trade, delivering from a new week opening gap as well. Just absolutely beautiful. And then as well, that inversion for value gap that happened right after. So that was probably my favorite trade of the day. I saw this about probably 30 seconds too late, and yeah, that's on me for saying it 30 seconds too late. Then the two other trades that I really loved today were both trades that I actually took. First, it was the inversion for value gap in the pre-market to the downside. I took this live. You guys can go in my live stream and watch me take this. Now, what happened with me is I did something stupid. I changed my decision on when I was going to go break even, and I went break even, and it doesn't look like it break evens me here, but on my chart it actually did break even me here. And I wasn't planning on going break even, and then I went break even super early when I knew I didn't want to, because I knew this was a good trade. So the lesson with this that I'm gonna make a short form video on at some point is really trust yourself. Really trust yourself. Don't go break even too early. You know what you're doing. You know the risk. You know the good trade is good. Execute the trade as you should. You know this is a good trade. So don't go break even too soon. I was planning on going break even like around these bodies here or in the middle of the bodies or something. And I went break even probably in here, and then I got break even, which once again you can't see it on this chart because on my chart I got wicked out, but this candle wicked me out. So lesson is trust yourself, right? This is obviously a really good trade. Why is this a really good trade? What is this trade anyway? Let's talk about it. What is this trade? It's an inversion for value gap where there's this gap. It's using two candles as one. So here's the high of the candle prior, and here's the low of the candle after. But you could also mark it out as this, right? The gap between this high and then this body is low, right? So that gap gets closed beneath. You could also mark it out from here to here like I did, merging these two candles together. Once again, if you guys haven't seen my using two candles as one video, I made that a long time ago. That one's super, super nice. Highly recommend you guys watch that. Anyway, this gets violently closed through up against this trend line. Now, I was a little scared because I wasn't sure if this was going to be low resistance or high resistance, meaning whether the market was going to reject this trend line and go back up, or it was going to finally cut through. Once again, why does the market cut through these trend lines like this? Because where there's these trend lines, once the market starts to cut through, it's going to become a very aggressive stop run. So that's the logic here. When this gap inverses and when we have violent momentum towards this trend line, we know the market's going to cut right through this trend line here, these low resistance lows. That's what LRLR stands for, trend line of lows, low resistance lows. So this trade was really nice. We also had SMT at the high. We had a liquidity sweep. Once again, I took this one live, but messed it up a little bit. Another really nice trade that I liked that I actually took was and this one ended up being 3R for me, was we had, first of all, we have bullish SMTs with this low here. So at this point, when we get these bullish SMTs and start expanding, so let me mark this out for you guys. We get bullish SMTs with this low, and we sweep it out. Then we start expanding up. And we get a close. We get a close above this green candle right here. So this green candle, when we close above it, is a breaker block. Why is this green candle a breaker block? because it's the green candle that comes before the liquidity sweep. So if you think about it, you might be saying, "Oh, where's the low, high, lower, low, higher, high?" Because isn't that what a breaker is supposed to be? Well, yes, that is what a breaker is supposed to be, but um, the low and the high for the low, high, lower, low, higher, high all form within this one candle. So it's low, high, lower, low, higher, high, all within this one green candle. So this is a higher time frame key level. So there's the 5-minute breaker. So you'll note that it's also nicely in discount of this range, right? So then we can drop down to a 30-second chart, which is the aligned time frame with the 5 minutes. So it's our higher time frame key level, 5-minute breaker. Then we look for 30-second change in state of delivery. And I personally like this one, right? And you can see that that is how I marked out this trade using 5-minute breaker, up close candles before the move lower. That takes liquidity, so that's the breaker, and then an aligned time frame. So that's our higher time frame key level, and then a 30-second change in state of delivery retest. So we retest it, boom, enter right there. Note the true opens each get manipulated respectively, and then I just take it up to this high. So 30-second change in state of delivery, retest, and then up 3 projections. So I really like that trade. The other cool thing about this is we had really nice LRLR and London high above. So you can see here, this is a session high above. And so that, along with the fact that it's just really nice LRLR, this would have been a nice high time frame target. So there's your London high. And then once again, so you could have held this all the way to London high if you had conviction in that. And if you did, then you can, then that's 7R, right? So that's pretty cool. Like I said, I would have just taken profit at these highs. So I did do that. I took that trade live. So that was 3R. And then let's see, what other trades did I like? Yeah, like Dodgy was talking about, we had this beautiful 5-minute inversion for value gap where we have an old gap right here, the low of the wick prior and the high of the wick after get closed above with this massive momentum candle, and you just enter right there, and then you could target 1.5. Very simple trade. You'll notice it also comes with these nice SMTs at the lows here, delivering from a new week opening gap. Something cool about London session, I know none of us were really awake at this time, but you can see look how nicely true opens help you identify the true manipulation. Look how perfectly we soup 130 with SMT, right? Which is, the soup also occurs above true day open and above the true 90-minute open. So we're above all the true opens. We perfectly soup it with SMT. We get a displacement leg breaking structure. Then a fair value gap forms at equilibrium. Bang, there's our 2022 entry. And then delivery lower. You can just see how everything fits together like a perfect little machine, constantly running at all times. Like, this is so beautiful, guys. You guys see this? See how we perfectly soup 130 with us? So we get a sweep, displacement leg breaking structure, for value gap. What's that? 2022 model, right? Okay. What else do we look at? What's this trade? No, that one's not that good. Yeah, those were all the main trades that I liked today. I think those were the best trades. I think those are the ones that were worth covering. Yeah. mean, there might have been some kind of inversion for value gap here. I'm just now noticing this. Yeah, like something like this wouldn't be bad either, where you just you kind of wait for this trend line to build up and then you take this inversion for value gap. This would not be bad. I'm just now noticing this. You guys see why this is kind of good, because we've generated liquidity this whole time, and then we get the inversion for value gap, and now time and price are aligned to go run liquidity, and then bang, there's 2.8R, right? So this is really a game of patience. There will be setups, there will be good setups. You just gotta really just wait for them and not take the bad ones. And easier said than done, right? But you gotta do it, right? We gotta do it. We gotta keep going. With that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.